start you out with this case. I mean, Cody Bellinger seems like he would be the priority to return. Got to get that one done first.
Got to get that done. That's the lefty bat they really want. He brings so much defensively, offensively. Drove in 98 runs last year. That park was tailor-made for him. I mean, there was just, so many times that right field porch, really got him a couple more home runs. So, but he actually won a lot of games with them defensively too. So I think Belly wants to come back. I think it's a natural fit, and I'm sure Cashman's going to do everything he can to get Bellinger back. When you look at these numbers, Matty, I mean, those are real numbers. I mean, in the middle of that lineup, talk about protection for Judge and having guys that can do some damage, he's one of them.
OPS at home was 200 points higher than where it was on the road. And I love the fact that you mentioned he won games for him defensively, not just because of his versatility, but he made some plays that it left your jaw dropped. Like, he's an outstanding overall player and perfect for that lineup, perfect for that ballpark. I would agree with you. So here's the next question. With Kyle Tucker out there, the Yankees were mentioned as a possible landing spot for him as early as April of last year, right? He's going to end up in the Bronx, short porch, left-handed pop, blah, blah, blah. He had a wobbly second half of the season because of health concerns. Yeah. Do you think there's enough payroll canvas to bring back Bellinger and add Tucker if you're the Yankees?
Wow.
I mean, that's
a tall ask,
isn't it?
That's a tall ask, especially you go the rotation with Fried and what you owe Cole and what you owe Rodon. But to get Tucker and Bellinger, I think that's going to be a big ask. And then what would you do too? You're bringing back Grisham, you got Judge. Then if you have Tucker, Bellinger, and then you're talking about what do? You got Dominguez, you got Spencer Jones that needs a spot. I mean, which is a good problem to have. But at the end of the day, I think you're going to still want to bring in some pitching too. That's what I think they want to do that. So it could be a tall ask to bring in Tucker and Bellinger but I think when the conversation with Tucker last year was when Soto walked. They're like, oh, we'll just go get Tucker. Maybe we'll trade for him now and then sign him long term, or we'll get him in free agency. So that conversation's been out there. But Tucker didn't have the best year. But he's a heck of a player. Yeah,
and there are a lot of other suitors. If it's not going to be the Yankees, then, I mean, we could come up with a short list right now. Toronto, going back to Houston. What Houston lacked last year was a left-handed power hitter.
Yeah, exactly.
It was him. Yeah. The Reds, I feel like the Reds are a great spot for him, too.
If the Reds could make a run at Tucker or Schwarber or just, if they could get a big left-handed bat, veteran guy in that lineup for the Redlegs, I think it would be huge. Tucker would be a great one.
Any chance for you that he goes back to the Cubs? I mean, I
don't think so. Doesn't it just feel like they're like, hey, we're going to take a run at him, but not really? Yeah. You know what I mean? I think, I don't think they're going to.
So if Cam Smith turns into an all-star player, which he very well might, like the Astros made a pretty good deal, right? You got two good players that you're going to have for 5 to 6 years in exchange for 1 year of Kyle Tucker.
I think so, man. You're right. Especially if Cam Smith becomes that all-star, you look back at that deal and go, wow, that was a great deal for giving up Tucker for 1 year.
I want to circle back with you on the Yankees, too, because what else is left? And Brian Cashman talked about a lot of other players, too, yesterday during that brief media availability he had with the Covenant House event. There are other free agent players. He mentioned Paul Goldschmidt potentially coming back. And as good as Goldie was before the All-Star break, he didn't have a chance to play a lot down the stretch. We didn't see much of him in August, September, and in the playoffs. Is that a guy that you think they'd prioritize? I know Booney loved having him in the clubhouse.
I think having him in the clubhouse is a big deal. I think that does matter, and I think Goldie's a leader that could obviously help everybody else. I think the emergence of Ben Rice is going to be interesting too, because I think you've got to get Ben Rice in that lineup a lot. He can play a little bit of first base, obviously behind the dish, but I like the fact bringing Goldie back. I think having guys like that in that clubhouse is a good thing for the Yankees.
Yeah, and I like the fact you mentioned Ben Rice, too. There was nobody better against a four-seam fastball last year in terms of power numbers.
He had an incredible year. Yeah, I think I know at the beginning of the year talking to Booney, they were at spring training, they're like, man, our metrics say Ben Rice hits the ball super hard a lot. He's barrel accuracy, he's on the ball a lot, and it turned out they were right. I mean, he was barreling some balls up last year, putting them in the seats, and he was a main piece of that offense.
Yeah, for sure. There was other stuff that Brian Cashman said yesterday, including a word that kind of got past a lot of us. I feel like we knew what he was trying to say. Can we play the rest of that Brian Cashman sound?
You know, this is a meme about Brian Cashman's asleep on the job and not doing a job. I've seen that all over.
So Cash said,
Cash
it's a
is the best.
meme. I think he meant to say meme, right? It's
he
a
meant
meme.
to say meme, but
Yeah.
meme works. We know what he was trying to say, but he is the best. The cat is. That's first off, it's great. He does that every
For
year.
sure.
Sleep
Yep.
out.
Yep.
But Cash behind the scenes is, we all see him in front of the camera. He's the, GM of the Yankees. He's a great guy. He cares about that organization. He wants them to do well. He really puts his best, foot forward all the time. But Cash is a good dude. It's fun. It's great to see his personality come out.